So hi guys and welcome back to the channel, Paolo here. This is another review of the WRC collection in 124 scale that recently arrived on the market, very interesting collection. And this time I would like to talk about this 911 SC Tour de Corse 1980, This model has been a kind of holy grail, of the 911 performing in the rally series, mostly because a few years ago, they say now a few years ago, I think it's up to 10 years ago now, Tamiya decided to produce the 934 Porsche based on the 911 series, so it's still the series of the 911 with the lights, with the front end finishing this way, so it was not the following one like 993 and so on, and GT2 and so on. And a lot of guys wanted to recreate the famous Almeras Porsche that was so popular during the 80s, mostly because the livery was absolutely stunning. You can see the very nice color between the blue and the red, the very French eye-catching colors, and even more at the Tour de Corse, that is a fantastic race. But to build up this model back in time was absolutely challenging, because if you wanted to make it properly, it became absolutely complicated. If you want to make it wrongly, like many modelers did it around, they simply took the Tamiya or the Revel 934 because the car was looking similar to that, because they had it simply in the on the body of the original 911. They added these parts in plastic to make it wider, to host the different wheels. You see, they don't have the ordinary Fuchs or BBS wheels. They have they think they call them the Gotti wheels. That was a French producer of racing wheels. And also this was something that you can find, I think it was made by Renaissance, this kit for the wheels, but it was extremely challenging to find all the parts to convert a 934 wrongly, as I said, into this type of model. I say wrongly because there was a nice debacle about this car a time ago in some forum, Italian and international, because the point is simple like this. So every time that you see a hand-built model of this subject, the Almeras Porsche, you see immediately that mistake. I mean, this made by IXO is properly made and probably and absolutely better described like a 911 SC. It is the body. It is the body. So if you start from a 934, the 934 is much wider body, so the fenders are made like in the turbo car, so they are bulged plus this side outside. Instead, the real 911 SC was absolutely the slim body of the 911. It was the ordinary street body of the standard 911 SC, so it was not bulged at all, mostly at the rear. You see, they made them correctly here. That corner down there is the correct one. I hope that you can see also through the blister, through the plastic blister. But you see, in that position, you don't have the typical fat S that the 911 Turbo have. So despite if they have the extra side plastic over the wheel, plus the ducktail, plus the proper decal, the proper color, the proper markings and so on, and the proper painting over the model is absolutely wrong. So it looks nice because it's wider, it's muscular, but it is not a 911 SE, it's a 934. And the 934 never raced this way with the Almeras team. There is some guys, cannot make the names because then they make new enemies and I don't need them, that are still going on with this idea that they think, but what does it change? It is the same. It is not the same car. So not only the body is not the slim one, but also the front end is different. So that final part that looks like the 934 one is different. It's much more thinner, it's much more lower. It's different than the 934. It's not the 934. The 934, it was not an ordinary car. It was a racer. It was already belonging to the family 934, 935. They were the turbo car. They were an extremely powerful car. They are not this 911. So I hope that people finally understand. I know that a lot of guys outside there already know what I'm talking about, but a lot. Anyway, collect the decal, collect the proper wheel, collect the proper front end, fall in love with the subject of the Almeras rally car, and they make a mess, and they make a mess. And then you have argumentation when you try to explain it, why they made it so wrongly. Also, pretty done, pretty finished and painted in the proper way and so on, but if you have that mistake, well, you cannot make it. It was just one guy, that is Giovanni. Giovanni is a very, very famous Italian modeler, ultra skilled modeler, honestly, that made the proper body of this 911 SC with the proper got. It was a proper kit. He was just very unlucky because when he tried to make it in the production of the racing, and I have a couple of them here that I took from another common friends and so on that had them, but it was absolutely trash stuff. Really rubbish, really badly done, but sadly it was not because of Giovanni's work, because Giovanni made a masterpiece. He's a so talented modeler, an incredibly good modeler, but it was because of the caster, because the caster was really somebody that I don't think that he do anything any longer today. I think he completely changed the activity, because it was really transforming a diamond, because if you see the model like he did in the beginning, John made in a astonishing way. It was terrific to see. It was absolutely the correct proper one, and they badly wanted to have one of his model, but the reproduction in resin was terrible. It was really made, the resin was something like made in gypsum, so it was really terrible. It was sad, because then I know that the guy remained a little, really little bit disappointed by this huge failure in the production, not depending from him, because he also paid everything, so he paid for quality and he had garbage. So it's very complicated to sell stuff where you want to have something nice and coming from somebody that is usually so reliable and so famous about modeling with quality stuff, with winning prizes all over. So it's absolutely worth it to have his stuff. I took some of his latest production made in 3D printing, you know, Italian subjects. So for me, he's a great guy, always very kindly also guy. So it was really sad for him. I anyway saved a couple of this body. I think that nowadays I have no use for them, so I just collect them because I like to see also just the shape of the 911. So for me it's anyway worth it to collect it. But to make the almeras always remained the issue and the problem, how to make the proper body. I don't know if somebody in the quite near future is planning to do a model of the Porsche almeras. Probably yes, because I see that already the I think it's still the Nuno Platz, something like that. They made the series of this racing Porsche. They made the Rothmans 911 SC, and still the SC. You see that from the front. You see the fenders. Look carefully at the fenders. If you can see that fender and that fender, they are the slim. They are the slim one. You see, there is not burged side at all. There is no burged side, not in the front and not in the rear. So they made it correctly. They made it absolutely correctly on this model. Also, the painting is absolutely well done. The decal is stampo printed. So basically, you have for 25 euros, you have a model that just in materials and so on will be over 2,000. Over 200, sorry, talking about the Swedish prices, you know, 2,000 kronor. It is over 200 euros of material between the model, the resin, the wheels, the decals. Also Arena made this, and it was Luca Cavicchi making their model, so it was stunning stuff, but it's made in resin, so we are in a completely different price range. And of course it's different stuff because in the proper hands, like Luca made the master for them, and the model that you see in the competitions and so on and in their website and so on is a master model, so the finishing is fantastic. But it's not so easy to be finished by modelers. That is my point. Even more in this kind of defined you see the difference of the two main colors. It's not so easy to do it, you know. You have to follow the lines of the 911. It's very easy to make a mess, to wrong lines and so on. So I don't know. I absolutely don't know. For now, I think I had all the stuff also for myself to make the Almeras Porsche, and I don't remember if I already sold it or I will very soon. Better maybe if you want to sell it and grab your money back, do it, because there is no needing any longer after you have this one. Is honestly more worth it to take one of them, strip it down and rebuild in the modeling, where there is some guys around that are already starting to do this stuff, and the model becomes absolutely fantastic because the proper part of the body is absolutely well taken. You don't have to do so much on this model, just make it a little more detailed if you really badly want to do that. For me, it's absolutely one of the nicest of the collection ever. It's a 911, it's a Porsche, it's a rally car, it's a special item, so this is absolutely worth it. So in my opinion, this is absolutely a must to have in your own collection. That's it, grab it when you can. This is already going quite up in prices, so it's very hard to find at this original price, and collect it because it's absolutely worth it. 911 Almeras Tour de Corse 80. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.